What's up? Welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Welcome, guys. Happy Sunday. All right, we got some questions in the comment box, live chat. Whoop, whoop. Courtesy of Big Play Slay. What's up, my man? Toxic Falcons, if you're still here, happy Sunday, my dude. All right, let's get to some of these questions. What do you all expect? Who do you all expect to be the number one top receiving leader of wide receivers this year? It's a phenomenal question. You know, I could go with like DeAndre Hopkins. I could even say that Julio Jones is going to have a bounce back year and do phenomenal things on his new team in the Tennessee Titans, because you know them bringing Julio Jones to their team is gonna make defenses. Put defenses on their toes, so they're not going to be able to stop Derrick Henry. They're not going to be able to put 8 in the box to stop Derrick Henry, which is going to open things up for him. And then they're going to have to put 8 in the box to stop Derrick Henry, and then it's going to open up things for the likes of AJ Brown, Julio Jones. So I could say Julio Jones. I could say Justin Jefferson takes another huge leap in year 2 and does a phenomenal job. I could say Kenny Golladay, but I'm not going to say Kenny Golladay because I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be able to give him the best opportunities that he possibly can. So there's that. I could say that OBJ is going to have a bounce back year, according to Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry said that OBJ looks better than ever. So I don't really I take that with a grain of salt, honestly. Like I feel like OBJ's been saying that for the last like 5-6 years of his career. Oh, I'm going to be better than ever. I'm going to be better than ever. I'm going to be better than ever. Yeah, at some point it's got to stop. You know what? I guys, I have no hesitations about this. I could put Devontae Smith up there. You know what I mean? I could put Devontae Smith up there. Do I think that's going to actually happen? No. Do I hope so? Yeah, because it would definitely take it would put my mind more at ease for us missing out on Justin Jefferson last year. So we'll see. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, guys? Who do you all expect to be the number one passing yards leader for quarterbacks? That's a really good question. I think I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes. I think I know it's a safe answer, but I feel like I'm going to. I thought Tom Brady, but then not, just because that really hasn't happened in a while. But Patrick Mahomes, you know what I mean? Maybe maybe a dark horse like Justin Herbert would be good. Carson Wentz. And I know I say that with a little bit of hesitation because I'm sure you guys aren't so sure about it yet, but I feel like he's going to do phenomenal things in Indianapolis, and I feel like he could definitely be up there. We've seen that he's capable of doing that in the past, and I absolutely believe that Carson Wentz will have a bounce back year. So it could be Carson Wentz, it could be Patrick Mahomes, it could be Justin Herbert, one of these younger guys. We'll see. We'll see. Big Play Slay says, who is your team that is a dark horse this year? Dark horse team, I would probably say the Chargers. I guess I can, even though we're all kind of expecting them to be better this year, they're kind of on that dark horse, natural road of progression borderline, I would say. And so I can say that they're a dark horse. Other teams, Philadelphia Eagles can qualify as a dark horse. The New York Giants can qualify as a dark horse. I don't think the Giants are going to do anything, but they certainly could. I would say, and my biggest dark horse, honestly, of all is the New York Jets. I just feel great about what they've done this offseason and what they continue to do. Speaking of the Giants, actually, I was reading up about Kadarius Toney, and apparently Kadarius Toney has had multiple reasons for not showing up in camp. He didn't show up at the OTAs, and there was reports that it was just a contract thing, but there's just some weird stuff going on. And then there was a family emergency, and maybe there was. Who am I to say that his excuses were false? But it sounds like it sounds like the Giants might be in a little bit of trouble with their number one, with their first round pick. So let's see. Big Play Slay also says, who do you all expect to take a fall this year when it comes to teams in the NFL? That's a good question too. That's a really, really good question. I would say the Saints. The Saints. I think as far as just how history goes for that organization, and just this year in general, and especially with the retirement of Drew Brees and things like that, I think that they're going to go through some learning curves without Drew Brees there. So yeah, they're definitely one of them. I wouldn't be surprised if age catches up to Tom Brady this year. I know that's I'm going to be kicking myself because I'm sure it's not going to. But I think my biggest bust would probably be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But that's just because it's so far fetched. Big Play Slay says Super Bowl 56 matchup predictions. I am going to say, I'm just going to come right out and say it. Chiefs, and I don't think the Buccaneers are going to go back. It's hard because there's no real NFC power right now. And because and to back that up, it would be the Saints. Drew Brees retired. And so I feel like they're going to go through a learning curve. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I feel like they can do it, but the likelihood of getting back to the Super Bowl back-to-back years is tough for anyone. So I don't know how plausible that is. I could see the Washington football team shocking the world with that defense, and possibly getting there. It's a difficult question because just don't know who it would be. I think I'll have to put Arizona Cardinals. At the top of the NFC list. All they're doing is progressing right now, and they've gone out and made moves to try and do that. And so right now they look like they have the most potential in the NFC, to be completely honest with you. Big Play Slay says, who do you all expect to take a fall this year at quarterback? There's a few. Ben Roethlisberger is going to take a fall, even though it's already been happening. Tom Brady could be one of the quarterbacks that take a fall. I could see that happening. Who else? There's absolute tons. I would say Jimmy Garoppolo. Is another, but I don't think he's gonna. That's the thing, is I don't think he's gonna start for the 49ers. I think it's gonna be Trey Lance. I think they're gonna make that move sooner rather than later. Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's the thing, is like there's so many questions regarding the NFC. It's tough. I laugh at the Ryan Fitzpatrick thing because I don't see him as a long-term solution at all, and it's more difficult to say it's more difficult to say that a journeyman quarterback like Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to take a fall because he is a journeyman quarterback. You know what I mean? So there's that. Toxic Falcon says, about time. I threw in some questions to keep you busy just so we weren't bored. Awesome. Thank you, buddy. Toxic Falcon says Julio won't dominate. I didn't say he'd dominate. I said he could have a bounce back year. But I love your sass. Always, Toxic Falcons. Thank you. Jalen Hurts me. What's up, my man? Happy Sunday, dude. OBJ won't do shit. Yeah, you're probably right. OBJ won't do shit. Jalen Hurts me says, no way Devontae Smith will be top receiver this year, maybe in a year or 2 or 3, but not this year. Didn't say that he would be. Said that he could be up there. Wouldn't surprise me if he were. Yeah, Calvin Ridley's a phenomenal. Yeah, Calvin Ridley's another phenomenal choice as well. Calvin Ridley's another phenomenal choice as well. I could see him doing it too. Jalen Hurts me says I'm going to say Justin Hermit. Herbert Hermit. He's going to be a slinger. Yeah, I think he's the one that I'm most excited about, honestly, as far as the younger quarterbacks are concerned. Jalen Hurts says dark horse team. I agree with Chargers, and to be honest, maybe even the Jets. It looks like we're on the same page today, Jalen. Awesome. Packers going to take a big fall. Maybe. I know that they're impressed with Jordan Love so far in camp and stuff like that, but we'll see how things play out. Jalen Hurts says Saints without Breeze. Yep, Saints without Breeze. Jalen Hurts says Super Bowl matchup. I'm going to be super out of the blue and say Titans versus Cardinals. That's not a bad choice. That's not a bad selection of two teams to represent their conferences. Honestly, like Titans have been knocking on the door for the past few years now. So that's a phenomenal choice. The only thing that I'm hesitant about with the Cardinals is I still don't think that they have the punch you in the mouth mentality. And I spoke about that during the draft. I spoke about that pre-draft. I spoke about that as soon as the offseason started. Like they need to go out and get guys that can punch people in the mouth. You know what I mean? Or they just need to adopt that mentality. You know what I mean? Big Play Slay says, I think will be Lamar. I don't think he's going to be good. Yeah, Lamar has never really impressed me. He's never really. They built that offense around him. I don't think he's a takeover, regardless of the situation type of quarterback. Y'all really caping on the NFC side. Yeah, well, I mean the AFC is much more potent and powerful than the NFC right now on paper. It's just factual. Big Play Say says, who's your biggest threat in the NFC and AFC? AFC, honestly, biggest threat always at the end of the day is the Chiefs, just because they can score points at any point in time. The biggest threat in the NFC, it's tough. It's tough to say because there's not many scary teams in the NFC. There's really not. The only thing that really scares me about an NFC team, which would be the Buccaneers, and that is Tom Brady. Honestly, any other team in the NFC doesn't scare me. None of them. None whatsoever. Who's your MVP? Who's your MVP? My MVP is. I mean, it's too hard to tell, or it's too early to tell, but the easy answer is Patrick Mahomes. Honestly, the easy answer is Patrick Mahomes, but I wanna choose someone who is more of a dark horse. Yeah. Justin Herbert. I don't know why, but like I'm on the Justin Herbert train. I'm gonna call it Justin Herbert. Defensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year. I mean, Chase Young. Who knows what JJ Watt's going to do on the Cardinals defensive front. Maybe he can get a couple great more years out of him. And any of the Steelers defenders really. Devin Bush, um, fucking T.J. Watt. It's way too early to tell. It's way too early to tell, Big Pussy. A great question. Talks Falcon says, I'm taking a big risk, but Nick Chubb will have a better season than Henry. And I said, now let it sink in. I don't need to let that one sink in. I love Nick Chubbs. I think he's a great running back, and I can get on board with that one. I can definitely get on board with that one. How about defensive rookie of the year candidate? Defensive rookie of the year candidate. I would say, J.C. Horn can definitely be up there. I hope so. I mean, that'd be really cool. J.C. Horn, Micah Parsons. We could be talking about, and as much as I hate to say that, just because he's a Dallas Cowboy, he could definitely be up there. There's a ton. Any of the top 3 cornerbacks that were taken: Patrick Surtain, J.C. Horn, Fairley. So any of those guys. Jason Away, I think, is going to really shock some people as well. Kyler Murray for the MVP. That would be the right path of progression for Kyler Murray. Yeah, I think that would be huge for Arizona Cardinal fans. I think that's exactly what they want. Obviously, it's what Kyler Murray wants, and yeah, it should happen. I mean, they've surrounded him with phenomenal talent. You know what I mean? They've surrounded him with phenomenal talent and the ability to go out and do exactly that. So I think that would be good. I think if Kyler Murray wins MVP, then obviously that means good things for the Arizona Cardinals. Jalen Hurtsme says, what you been up to recently, man? I haven't feel like we talked in a while. How's life? Life's fine. But we're going to keep it about the birds today. We're going to keep it about the NFL today. Other than that, yeah, I mean, guys, like those are some great questions. Defensive rookie, I obviously at my heart of hearts, I honestly want to say I want to say Milton Williams just because he's a Philadelphia Eagle. But the truth of the matter is, I honestly believe that Micah Parsons is going to be up there, in the top candidates with defensive rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. You could be looking at Travis Etienne, guys like that, or maybe even Zach Wilson or Trevor Lawrence. Guys like that. I honestly think it's going to be Zach Wilson, to be completely honest with you. But I've already told you guys how I feel about Zach Wilson, so we'll just have to see. Yeah. No problem. And Jalen Hurtsby says, "Oh, my bad. I won't ask any personal questions today, bro. Sorry." Yeah, no problem, man. It's all good. No worries. Any good movies recently? Jalen Hurtsby asks. Yeah, A Ghost Story. I just saw. It's on Netflix. Very interesting take. It's not necessarily scary. It's got Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara in it. I recommend it. Go see it. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. I would love to get Patrick J back on here to see what his take on that movie was. I'm sure he saw it. So, Toxic Falcon says, y'all keep forgetting Matthew Stafford could win MVP. Hell, he's got something to prove. Does he? What does he have to prove? Matthew Stafford is good. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't mean it to sound that way, but I think it's more like Sean McVay has something to prove than Matthew Stafford, because Sean McVay is the one who gave up his number 1 draft choice in what's his name to trade for Matthew Stafford, and they gave up like 3 first-round picks to do it. So King Miro, welcome to the chat today, my man. One love. Happy Sunday, dude. Happy Sunday, my man. You know who I'm really excited about, guys, is Patrick Johnson. You know, the Philadelphia Eagles is the Philadelphia Eagles 7th round draft pick. I think that he went way later than he was supposed to. And he's got a lot. He's got a lot to prove because of his late round selection. He was supposed to be like an early day 3 guy or a late day 2 guy. Jalen Hurtsby says, asking in general for any sport, but is championship a necessity for legacy of any athletes? I feel like we put too much stock on if they won to size up their legacy. I mean, it depends on the position. It depends on the position, I guess. I mean, there's certain players like, the quarterback position in the NFL, or like specific players in the NBA, for example, who you are always aware of. And so because you're always aware of those players, like a LeBron James, like a Kyrie Irving, guys like that, like you expect them to have the ability to take over games. And when they have that ability to take over games, then yes, they are expected to. It becomes apparent that they need to be judged on, well, how many games did they take over? What games did they take over? And did their takeover ability, aka their ability to dominate, did that result in a championship? So yeah, so I mean, like, and that's been dating back to, like, Michael Jordan, right? So, like, if Michael Jordan didn't have the championships, would Michael Jordan be Michael Jordan? If LeBron didn't have the championships, would LeBron be LeBron? Things like that. If Kobe didn't have the championships, would Kobe be Kobe? Probably. Probably. But, like, Tom Brady without the championships, wouldn't. I mean, he's another one of those guys that could take over. And Tom Brady without the championships, I feel like we wouldn't be. It would be a lot harder to say that Tom is the greatest of all time. He wouldn't have earned that. He wouldn't have earned the GOAT status without the ability to take over when it counts in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, and things of that nature. So it's important. I would say it's important. King Miro says, "Who's the player that you're mostly hyped about in the Eagles for this season?" I would probably say I don't know. It comes down to 3. I would say I'm excited for Devontae Smith. I'm excited for Kenny Gainwell. I'm excited for Miles Sanders. I'm excited for Jalen. But I'm even excited for Quez Watkins. I think when it like I feel really excited about all of those players, but I think the one that I really get hyped up about and hopeful that he takes a huge step in year 2 is probably Quez Watkins. I just feel good about Quez Watkins. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like he's gonna be an awesome receiver for us. Like I just and as far as, like, all the questions that we might have about the receiver core, and going into this offseason, obviously we feel a little bit better about it than we did last year, but I feel like at this point next year, Quez Watkins would have showed us something huge this season, and a lot of those questions are going to be put to rest, because I feel like Devontae is going to do really well for us, and I just feel like Quez is going to do really well for us. So Jalen says, you've always given us positive ways Eagles season would go. Play devil's advocate for me. What happens to Eagles future if they all go wrong, like Hurts stink, injuries continue, Smith sucks, etc. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I have played devil's advocate before, but I'll do it again just for you, Jalen. Yeah, there's a real possibility that Jalen Hurts fucking sucks. There's a real possibility. I've said this in the past. He's got about 8 games. He's got about 8 games to actually prove that he can be the guy long term. Not 16, 8. He's got to do it in 8. There's a real possibility that it doesn't play out the way that we want it to. And I do worry about Devontae Smith not doing well for the Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like we have been cursed at the wide receiver position and developing wide receivers over the past decade. And so I do feel a sense of worry about that. But what I do to make myself feel better about that is I think about Jeremy Maclin and I think about Deshaun Jackson, and I remember them coming in as prolific rookie wide receivers and doing some great things. Deshaun rejuvenated Donovan's career a little bit when we drafted him, and just made the entire offense better. The offense was humming when we drafted Deshaun Jackson. Jeremy Maclin was brought in a year later and did some phenomenal things as a part of LaShawn McCoy as well. So, I could say that, and there's a real possibility that it does go wrong. Jalen Hurts sucks. Devontae Smith sucks because we can't develop wide receivers. I'm not really that fond of Aaron Moorhead. A lot of people are. I just don't know what they see in him quite yet because, once again, the wide receivers underperformed last season. There's a real shot that we could win single-digit games, and it could be like another 6-game win season or a 5-game win season. That's a possibility. The good news is that we do have 3 first-round draft picks, most likely. And yeah, we could trade for somebody like Deshaun Watson if next season. If this legal shit with him goes away, we could trade for a guy like Aaron Rodgers. I don't prefer that one just because Aaron Rodgers is up there and older. So there's, yeah, and if the wide receivers suck, then we're back at square one with that position, and we do not want to be back at square one with that position. You know what I mean? Cornerbacks, cornerbacks are an issue. We do not have a starting cornerback opposite Darius Slay right now. We still do not have that. We need to go and find that. I don't care what they say about Zach McPherson. I don't want to hear it. He's too small to play the outside. He's just too small to play the outside. Go get yourself Steven Nelson. Just go do it. I mean, they can't right now, but here's the thing. If they don't, and they've already decided these are the guys that they're going to go with, then, we'll have a shot at drafting one of the top corners next year. Hopefully. So I'm not expecting, this season to be peaches and cream. You know what I mean? I'm expecting this season to be not so good. I'm hopeful that we can at least get to 9 wins. That's it. 9 wins. But no, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it were like 6 wins, honestly. Jalen says, thank you for that. Just wanted to get the side of your thoughts since you're generally a positive guy. I wonder what we'll do since there isn't much QB prospects option next year. Yeah, no, I agree. And again, it depends on what these quarterbacks do this final year, like the guys like Sam Howell and guys like that. But I agree with that. I think that a trade would probably be better. But then again, I'm worried about that because I don't want to be one of those teams that gets stuck in that situation for trading for veteran quarterbacks like the Broncos. So nobody will trade for Hurts. No disrespect. You're not disrespecting me. I don't agree, but you're not disrespecting me. King Miro, I heard he wanted to go with the Broncos. Yeah, that's one of the teams that he wanted to be traded to. I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how John Elway feels about that, but we'll see. We'll see. Talks Falcon says I can really see Aaron playing for the Eagles. Yeah, I can too. The only thing about Aaron is that I believe that he wants to be somewhere warmer. I do. I think he's done with the cold, to be completely honest with you. But is Philadelphia a football town or a basketball town? I feel like the Sixers have a hold of that town. No. I mean, the Philadelphians are going to support any which one of their sports teams, but it really comes down to the Eagles at the end of the day. It really does. It really, really does. So these are all great questions, guys. All phenomenal questions. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you what the Eagles would do if Jalen Hurts sucks. You know, it made a little bit more sense when they had Jamie Newman on the roster, because he was one of those guys that you could develop with high potential, and but they just don't have him anymore. So there's way too many question marks. There's way too many question marks, and it goes back to the rumors that like the Eagles were going to draft a quarterback because Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman don't like not knowing what is in store after 1 year. You know what I mean? So we'll just have to see. Jalen Hurtsby says, "What about Arizona, where you're at? Sunstown or Cardinalstown? Arizona's a melting pot, so Arizona's more like fair weather fans, unfortunately. So right now they're all about the Suns. Every single person is about the Suns. So yeah. Who do I think will have a worse season? And what teams that made the playoffs won't make it back this season? Washington football team. I don't think Washington football team will make it back. So that's one. Another one probably I would say the Saints. The Saints are up there too. I have a really I really do believe that the Seahawks are going to have a tough time this year. I really, really do. I really, really do. I don't know why, but I just do. Jalen Hurtsby says, if you played football professionally, would you be one team for life kind of guy or chase the ring kind of player? I would probably be a one team for life kind of guy. I would probably be a one team. Yeah, because here's the thing: is like, the team that you get. I'm a huge believer in that. What you bring to your team or what you bring to your job and anything like, you have the ability as a player to do the best that you can to make sure that your team gets over the hump. And so that's what I would try to do. I would take the Larry Fitzgerald approach. Doing all that he can, making sure that he shows up every day and balls out, so that when his team is doing good, he's there doing well as he's doing good as well. And then they'll be able to have a higher chance at winning a ring. Jalen says, weird question, but there's been talks of relocation again in NFL. Which franchise you think most likely tries to move? I don't know. Jalen Hurts me says, also, what's the worst NFL logo? Haha, has to be the Browns for me. I would say the Washington football team because, like, their name sucks. So it's WFT, basically. Like, what's the, you know what I mean? So, like, Browns are kind of boring. The Browns are kind of boring. Their logo is kind of boring. But guys, I'm getting hungry, so I'm gonna jump out of here. I appreciate you guys being here today. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the great questions. One love. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Have a beautiful rest of your Sunday evening, and go Birds, baby.